And let's chat today with Sandra. Sandra Priestley. Sandra is a transformational coach and certified Feng Shui practitioner.
Mhm.
So, what does that mean, right? So, Sandra's going to tell us what exactly that means. But let me tell you why I am super excited to have her here. Because
Oh,
one
cool.
yes, that she can actually talk to us about is, how you can set up your space
Mhm.
to have that calm environment for you and your significant other, how you can open up that path of connection, that level of closeness. And yes, after you've done all the little things, all the daily actions, and, worked on the areas that need to be addressed, there are some fun bits that you can add on to maximize the benefits. And that's what Sandra's going to help us with too.
I talk about the mindset piece, like there's an action piece, like what are we actually doing? What are we thinking about? And then what is our energy like?
Right.
And so feng shui to me, I mean, if you Google, you will be so confused. There are three different types of feng shui. One uses a compass. I do not. I follow the BTB feng shui, and it's more like a combination of Buddhism and shamanism and psychology, Carl Jung. And it's really,
Right.
I do my own sort of feng shui. And so the way that I explain it is our space speaks to our subconscious mind. And so we want it to say nice things. We want it to tell us things that send us towards our goal. If you watch Marie Kondo, I mean, I'm not a big, I can't roll up my socks and things. But if you watch her, she'll say, like, does this spark joy? And
Mm-hmm.
she will also say, your home should be representing the person you want to be, like the person where you're going. And a
Right.
lot of times we stay stuck in our stories.
We
We
do.
stay
Mhm.
stuck in what we don't like, and our space is telling our subconscious mind the same dang thing, right? So like it's almost impossible if your goal, like I swear I cannot see feng shui being a part of like or being not a part of anything. Like
Right.
because if you think of any single goal that you want to achieve, we can tell our conscious mind all sorts of great things, but our subconscious mind is the thing that's rolling around in the back and it's telling us those little stories we don't really like, right? I know what he meant. It's always this constant sort of chatter, like that's not helpful.
No.
Sometimes it can be. We can reprogram it. But a lot of times, like that's the thing that's like rolling around in the background that we're trying to calm down.
Yeah.
If our space is speaking to our subconscious mind, we want to tell it things that will be empowering and
Right.
not disempowering and taking us away from our goal.
Right. Ooh. I have a
So,
question.
okay, ask me away. Ask away.
So then does feng shui mean like I never have any mess? Because I think that's one of the things that like and you say Marie Kondo and I'm like, oh crap, I have three kids. Like, is it ever going to be possible when they live with me?
Yeah. Um, feng shui, feng shui is more about being intentional
Right.
with what you have in your space and how it affects you.
Right.
But also there are key parts, like there's a whole Bagua map. And so there's sections of your home represents sections of your life.
Right.
Sounds like this hurts my brain to think, but it's just an energy pattern and it's been used for 6,000 years. And so, if we can locate the relationships area and we can place things in the relationships area with intention, knowing this is my relationship squaw and this is what I'm going to put in here for this purpose, it speaks to our energy.
Yeah.
It speaks to us in a different way. I mean, I'm always going to say if you have a ton of clutter in your home, it is like a whole bunch of toddlers screaming, pay attention to me. How annoying, right? Every single thing in your house, it's like it's speaking to your subconscious mind. So if you're overwhelmed, if you've had an overwhelming day at work or something, you've had an overwhelming day at like Christmas shopping, and you come home and you look around, all of a sudden there's clutter everywhere, you might lose it. But if you're in a good mood, you probably can, and you're not overwhelmed, you probably can handle that amount of clutter.
Yeah.
So for me, should we live clutter free? Yeah, if we can.
Okay. Yeah.
But I am sitting in Santa's workshop right now. I mean, my office looks great from this wall, but
Right.
there is things, and I got to tell you, I'm a bit distracted by it. Like I can see the wrap, I can see the presents that need wrapping, right? So I'm not perfect either, but ideally, the whole goal for me in feng shui is how do you feel? What is your goal?
Right.
And then what can we do in our space to alleviate it? So if you're doing okay, if you don't feel stressed and overwhelmed, then I wouldn't probably go. The first thing that I wouldn't do is like go and declutter my whole house and like I would work on a specific area, and I think we can get so overwhelmed and we don't start. We look around and we go, okay, every single one of these people that I live with, these zoo animals, like I have a sign that says, welcome to the zoo because that's what it felt like when I've been married for 26 years.
Right.
I've got two kids, both in university now. One plays university football, and it's now less zoo like, but it was a zoo for a while. And I had that sign in my space to just sort of tell myself, like, to embrace it. It wasn't a sign that said, life sucks. This is a zoo. Get out. It was a sign to just tell my subconscious mind, like, it's okay. Chill.
Yeah.
They're only here for a short time.
Which is true. Yeah.
Yeah. But one of the things, I mean, what I can say is if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling stressed, particularly around like holidays or if you've got company coming, you need a Zen den. You need a space that is clutter free.
Yeah.
It used to be my ensuite, just a place where you can go to sort of hide, but
Oh,
that feels lovely.
yes. Oh my gosh. So you're really making me understand now because remember I was telling you that my office nook is off of my room, and
Yeah.
then just on the other side I have like my little well, it's ours. It's the cozy recliners, the soft little rug, and I have, just like one photo and I have my book basket. But I always end up there. Like when I come home and I am just tired or drained, that's where I go.
Right. Because that feels zen. It feels like you're not overwhelmed by things because it's all nicely designed and set up. And I really, that is one of the things that I think is really important, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business, it doesn't really matter what your goal is. I think everyone needs that safe space.
Yeah.
I try to also have like a calming environment in the bedroom. That's where we recharge. So for relationships, there's so much we can do, so many tips that I have. Do you have any more questions or do you want me to kind of go
Oh,
into
no.
that?
Go ahead.
Did I explain feng shui well enough? It's balance, it's yin and yang. We want to have like some exciting things and some soft things, and we want to have the 5 elements and the Bagua map. But for relationships, there's a ton of things that we can do. First, if you have a goal to achieve something in your relationship, does it like reconnection or date nights or just more time with each other, or maybe not fighting, or maybe getting over an argument or some sort of situation that's kind of hanging on? If you have a goal for what you want to look around your space and say, is there anything in here that is reminding me of the old crap? I went into feng shui a woman's house one time, and she was feeling stuck. One of her goals was to reconnect with her new husband.
Right.
She had found out that he had cheated on her. And we went into her relationship, the area of her house that represents relationship. And she had a plate, and the plate was that quote that said something about dancing in the rain. It's not about weathering the storm, it's about dancing in the rain. And so I said to her, tell me about that plate, because we also always want to know, what does this make us feel? And she said that was a plate that was given to her by a friend when her and her new husband were struggling with this. And I said, does it remind you of the situation because that's not where you're going.
So it's a beautiful quote, but
But what she had made it mean was that she's always going to have to dance in this dang rain. And
yeah.
so it was like this aha moment for her. It was like, oh, now I like, yeah, because every time she looks at it, she thinks of her friend giving it to her when she was struggling. And it says, you know, it's not about weathering the storm and it's about dancing in the rain. So it's like, okay, everything is always going to be like this. She took it down and she put up things that would represent where she's going. And that's feng shui. My mother is divorced. And so she has things that she holds on to from past relationships. Well, if you're holding on to something from a past relationship or holding on to something that reminds you of some hurt,
Right.
it's really hard to let it go because that item is speaking to your subconscious mind. You're consciously wanting to move forward. You're consciously wanting to like not be mad at him or whatever, right? But it's hard when then you're getting these messages to your subconscious mind that remind you of something that made you mad or something that hurt you
on a regular basis.
So, I mean, like we always, when I work with women, we always start with what is the goal that you have? And then we look at, is there anything in your space that doesn't represent that goal? Now, here's the crazy thing. A lot of women will have things like we've been told, right? Things in threes, that's like designer, things in threes all the time. But if you're wanting to encourage a relationship, you want to have things in two. You want to think and pair them. So in the bedroom, a lot of times we have like three pillows, you know, like three. I will have sets of twos. And it looks a little weird. It's like a whole bunch of pairs of pillows.
But they're paired up.
But they're paired up for a reason. And if I had a third pillow, it's sort of like, especially in your relationships area, and I'll talk about that later. If you have a three pairs of, or like triplets somewhere,
right,
that area, it actually represents to your subconscious mind and energetically something getting in the way of the relationship.
oh.
So it could be finances, it could be a person, it could be a job. It doesn't really, but it's like separating the relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's wild, right? It's so exciting.
We are going to have another chat, by the way. Yeah. All right. So just what are the relationship spaces? Yeah. What are the relationship spaces?
Okay. So the relationship, there's a few, but one of the things that I would really start to work on is the bedroom.
Right.
I would make sure that there are two equal side tables. We have to have them equal because if they are not equal, it represents an inequality in the relationship.
Right.
A lot of times women will have like one night stand and one person pushed up against the wall because the bedroom is small, for example, right? Mm-hmm. That's not an equal relationship, particularly when you're sleeping too, because that's where you're recharging.
Right.
You also want to have two equal, if you have, or if you like night lamps, side lamps, you want them to be the same. You want to like really bring about this equality.
Right.
The other thing is in your bedroom, you don't want to have pictures of your kids. You want to have only pictures of the people who are sleeping in the room because you're going to sleep in this space and this is your time to reconnect. The other thing that this one is a stickler. A lot of people have king size beds. So king size beds are not particularly great because they have the two mattresses. It sort of energetically separates you and the two of you should have your auras should enmesh at night. And so a lot of times people will get that king size mattress and then they feel really distant.
Yeah.
So the cure is to put like a red ribbon. This is the typical or the traditional feng shui cure. Put a red ribbon along the crack. so that it like seals it energetically. I have a queen size bed, but like even a red sheet, like a just a red sheet on the bottom will work.
Right, right. Okay, this is super interesting because I never thought about it, but it's true. When you have a king, it's like, oh, you just have to get the two twin sheets, and oh, look at this. That way, you don't have to buy a king. You can get matching twin sheets.
That's why we have a queen ever since I learned that. So I want you to imagine a tic-tac-toe board, and I will give you an upload of my bag one map as well. So part of one of the best things or the most fun thing I think about feng shui is knowing that there are 9 different areas of your home that represent the 9 different areas of your life.
Right.
And so when you can make changes in those areas and add things or take things away with intention, your life can actually change. You set your goal and then you do some just few little changes in those spaces. It's unbelievable. I've worked with women. I worked with one woman. She wanted to sell her company for $14 million. She sold it for 30 feng shui. She sold it for the exact amount that was wild to her that she wrote on a piece of paper in her wealth gua. She
Right.
forgot it was there. I've worked with women who have rekindled relationships with their stepchildren. I've worked with women who have expanded their businesses. I've worked with women who have like literally manifested tons and tons of money, created businesses, improved their health. I mean, there's 9 different areas. And so if we work in them, it's like we do all that we can do
Yeah.
action wise with our beliefs, with our thoughts, and then we like access a little bit of magic with feng shui. So
All
if
right.
you imagine your space being a tic-tac-toe board, you're standing in your architectural front door, not the garage door, the side door, but you know, the one that looks naturally like the front door. Intimate relationships marriage is the far back right corner.
Right.
So if you're standing in your front door of your main space, like when you walk in. So if you're standing in your front door, what is your far back right corner?
It's a den.
Okay.
Then my house is a tri-level townhouse.
So it's different because you can use the Bagua map on every floor or on a room or anything really, your car. But all you want to do is stand on the top floor, like on the top stair.
Right.
And that's the way that you position the Bagua map. Or if you were going downstairs, it'd be like stand on the bottom stair, like the stair that leads into that space. That's how you position it using my feng shui. So if you can imagine where your back right corner is, this is intimate relationships, marriage. And so there are things that we can do, especially in this space, to add energy to your relationship. The elements in this area are earth elements, like earth and fire. So when you think in terms of like adding a terracotta pot or adding bright colors or adding like even romantic colors or grounding colors,
Right.
those are kind of like, you know, the colors primarily are like softs, right? Romantic colors. But you can also add things that would be earth tones, which is very grounding and safe. Or you can add fire items, fire elements, which are like igniting,
Right.
exciting. If you're looking for that excitement in your marriage, I would be adding like bright red or bright pink or like physical candles or things like that. And we add them to this space and it just supports your relationship. Okay. So you want to have soft items in there, sensual items in there, luxurious items. This is particularly where you want to have things in pairs because that represents the partnership. So in your bedroom in pairs, and then also in this area specifically.
Right.
In this area, you want to have pictures of two happy people or things that would even like, you know, a picture of two trees or two flowers, things that represent happiness or represent spark. Um, even like a sculpture of two people would be great. Like anything that is speaking to your subconscious mind that is saying like, this is what I want. This is where we're going. This is us. My intimate relationships area is my kitchen in my upper floor. And so I actually had two teapots. I had two stainless steel teapots that I never used. I don't know why I bought them. If you don't use it, if you don't love it, well, I loved it. But if you don't use it, you don't need it, it's broken, or you don't love it, or it doesn't represent where you're going, why are you keeping it? Right? Like, if like, can I live without this? Yes or no? If it's a yes, but I had these two teapots. And at the time, we had like shelving, like our cupboards didn't go all the way to the ceiling. So there was like that greasy top. And so I put our two teapots up there and they represented him and me.
Yeah.
And I put them together and I had the spouts crossing.
Oh.
And that was like he and I both knew this is us. And he said, "Who's the short fat one?" Like, it's not me. Because there was one was like a stout teapot, right? And then it was a little taller. But anyway, I mean, it was just like this fun way for me to put something in there that was in twos and it represented us and it made us smile. And we both knew like where we're going is connection.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always have to be like super obvious.
Right.
That's about feng shui too. It only has to be placed there with intention.
Beautiful.
Just place it there because it means something to you. I had a client one time. Her goal was to do daily scripture readings every day and really like seek God more in her life.
Right.
And she had some adult children, one with brain cancer. I mean, she was going through a lot. So we went through her space. I like did a FaceTime with her, went through her space, and we made a bunch of changes. We walked out of the garage. There was this beautiful cross, and it was just hanging in the hallway up on a hook. And so I said to her, "Oh, that's a really pretty cross. What do you think of when you look at it?" And she said, "Oh my gosh, it just warms my heart. My friend gave it to me. I love it. It just represents like just like give it to God, kind of like, right? No matter what it is, like just I love it so much." I said, "Do you notice it there?" "Well, no." "Okay, where can we put it?" And so what she did was she chose to put it on her side of the bed on the wall so that every single day when she woke up, she saw that beautiful cross. And what happened was she said every single morning she woke up so blessed with such gratitude. And she looked at it every single day. She wanted to take it with her on holidays. But when she woke up on holidays, she remembered, it's like she visualized the cross.
Oh, wow.
And we can do that for our relationships. We can do that for anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we just place something there as precious as it is and place it there with intention, it speaks volumes. I'm a big, huge journaler and meditator and all these things, but like seriously, it's like constant messages to our subconscious mind, reprogramming us, saying, "This is where I want to go. This is important to me."
Wow. Sandra, I know we're coming to the end of our time, but as I said, we have to do this again because we haven't even gotten through.
It's so much.
Yes, it is fascinating. But before you go, I mean, and you guys, I'm cutting us a little bit short. So obviously you want to know, I'm pretty sure you want to know a lot more too. And Sandra is available to you. You can find her on Facebook. You can find her. Okay, where can they find all the places?
I have 3 podcasts actually. And so one is called "What the Fuck Did She Just Say?"
Right.
And so in that podcast, I talk all things mindset, energy, and I release them every day. So I release like 5-minute tips every day. I got tired of listening to an hour long. Like I love Mel Robbins, but I can't listen to her for an hour. I started this challenge where I was going to release them every day.
Yeah.
And so I started realizing, well, I'm not going to do 15 minutes every day. And I'm just going to do it messy, figure it out. So I do like a mindset or motivation on Mondays. Sometimes I do
Yeah.
truth bomb Tuesdays sometimes, but every single Friday I do a feng shui Friday. So even if you only turn into feng shui Fridays,
Right.
you can get feng shui tips. And it is pretty sweary. It's like E for explicit. So I have that podcast, and then I have two more.
Right.
One is private, and then one is with a friend of mine called the Happy Half Hour with Lee and Sandra. So that one's half an hour. That's all mindset.
Right.
I am on Facebook under the Feng Shui Chick. I have a Facebook page where I post. On Instagram, I'm just Sandra Priestley on Instagram. And where else can you find me? My website is called you have to put in the W's. I haven't figured that out yet, but www.thefengshuichick.ca.
Beautiful. And we are going to put the stuff below. So we'll be able to get, you can just click, well, anything that you want our viewers to connect with you over. You don't have a Facebook group, do you?
I have an older Facebook group. I don't really post in there.
Right.
But I do have a really cool membership. And so that one we do feng shui once a month. I do card readings. I'm really intuitive. And so I'll do card readings. We do intuition training so that we can like lean on our own intuition. Mondays are my favorite days because mostly people hate Mondays. I go live every single Monday in there and I talk about something that's on my heart. So 9 months of the year, I talk about the different 9 areas of the Bagua map once on Mondays or once a month. And then mindset and, get your crap together kind of moments. Yeah.
All
Because we all
right.
need them. So that's one of the things that I have. I have private coaching. But yeah, right now I'm doing the 12 days of Christmas on my podcast. So there's like smoke and deals. I do one feng shui tip a day
All right.
and then one deal of the day. So
Perfect. Yes. So,
it's pretty fun.
oh, thank you for sharing with us. All right.
Oh,
We
thank you for having me.
go check her out because we have to find out more about these things anyway. Sandra, I look forward to chatting with you again soon.